Hello and welcome back. My colleague Priyanka just told us about what can be expected from the KVK report, which is much awaited by the banking industry. Mr. RK Bakshi, former ED at Bank of Baroda, is now joining us. Sir, thank you so much for taking out time for us. Could you just tell us, what are some of the key things to watch out for once the committee recommendations are put up by RBI?
No, when the committee recommendations as accepted by RBI, they come out, naturally the things to look out will be whether all sectors are covered, whether any sectors selectively have been covered, what is the qualifications of the borrowers which get covered, and what are the disqualifications which leave them out. And therefore, as a result, how much amelioration of the present pain which the Indian Indian trade and industry is witnessing will get taken care of by the restructuring exercise. The dilemma before the banking industry, regulators and everybody has been that restructuring tool has sought to be misused in the past by banks as well as by less by the banks and more by the borrowers. Some borrowers who may not need, they may take it and may divert the funds. Some who are habitually bad in their repayments and who have diverted money, they may be looking at support coming to them in the name of COVID. So bankers have been blamed, rightly or wrongly, that restructuring has been an extend and pretend type of tool. That is where the dilemma comes, that the pain of COVID, which is totally exogenous to the trade and industry, which has not been any of their own doings, is very visible to everybody. Even the government's cash flows are so scarce now. The GST is not there, other direct tax collection, everything is low. Similarly, the industry and trade are witnessing very poor. Some sectors have been totally affected during this time, and even now the cash flows have not come back. Some sectors have come back, but still there is a washout of 3 months during the year. So naturally their balance sheet, their P&L account, their revenue account for the year will not look good, and therefore they need to be helped. So that pain is very clear to everybody. The dilemma and the skill of Kamath Committee report and RBI will be to see how the bankers, what norms to give to the bankers by which they can leave out those which may be more prone to misusing. So I think there will be two misusing this, and in the process, those sectors or those borrowers within the sectors who really have not any such disqualifications attaching to them, they are supported.
Right. As you said, of course, in the past, restructuring has been used and misused as well. But it's also the need of the hour because, this has been a one-time sort of a issue that a lot of sectors will actually need as well.
Yeah, that's what I said. So the pain of the because of COVID, and it is totally exogenous, this particular pain is not coming out of the doing of any of the industry's own indiscretions or whatever. So the industry and trade definitely need to be supported. Banking industry also cannot have so many NPAs on hand. There is no fun, even from the country's view also, to make accounts fail, to make businesses fail. Sometimes a little bit of oxygen or a little bit of ventilator support at a particular time is important for resuscitating the patient to give it very important oxygen in times of breathing trouble. Similarly, businesses which are being suffocated because the cash flows have been stifled because there were no footfalls, there were no taxis on the road, cars were suffering, there is no hotel entry, hotels are suffering, there is no tourism, the tourism industry is suffering, there is no footfalls in the retail, so malls are suffering, there are no footfalls in the shops, so this thing is suffering. Most of the industries have suffered both because of supply constraints as well as of the demand problem. it will still take time because the numbers are still not going down, and it will, although the economy has been opened, which is good, it should open because livelihood are as important. But everybody believes that 3 months having been washed out of a year, many businesses will need support. Those businesses which show promise that they have not been bad borrowers, they have not been deliberately misusing or abusing funds in the past, and they have been keeping up their repayment obligations more or less intact, and who show promise that within a reasonable, bankable time period, their cash flows can restore to a situation which will, okay, if I extend your repayment period by 2 years, I give you an initial moratorium, I give you some ballooning repayment, I convert your interest unpaid into a funded interest term loan type of thing, then you will be able to stand and you will be able to do business. We don't want businesses to go down.
All right, we'll appreciate your time, Mr. Bakshi. Thanks very much for giving us a sense as to what to expect from the KVK panel recommendations to the Reserve Bank.